All right. So the definition of a matrix is a technique involving the use of a rectangular array of real numbers. Here's your rectangular array for solving systems of linear equations. It's got a lot of other uses. An augmented, there's a few different matrices we're going to use. An augmented matrix is coefficients and constants. It's the ones that we put in. Coefficient matrix does not include the constants. You can put those separate. So there's a bunch of different ways to do this. The RREF is the one I showed you. That's this, an augmented matrix. That's the easiest one by far. Just put everything in, line them up in order, put them in, X, Y, Z, constant, X, Y, constant, whatever you have. Order, we're doing row by column. So the order for each guy is just row by column. And again, if you pulled up your matrix and you accidentally put this in the wrong one, you went over here to edit, you're going to put it in using edit. If you put this first one in, say there's one row, 3 columns, so I put one row, 3 columns, it's going to show you exactly what you're looking at. That should match yours. So what I'm saying is, in case you put it in backwards and you put 3 by 1, you'll see it right away. Does that match yours? So all you got to do is just reverse it. So the matrix itself is kind of nice. It has to match up yours. You could also, after you put in your information, let me put this back for a second. I'm just going to put this one in because it's quick. So you just put your numbers in, and most of you tried this already. And I want to make sure that I have it. The most important part is always second click. I want to make sure that I have it. You can just go here to matrix, click on A, and just click enter, and it prints it out for you. Like it pulls it back out for you. So if you want to make sure before you do any work with it that you have your matrix exactly, and if it was a test especially, I would do it just because you miss a negative sign and the whole problem is different. So that'll tell you, yep, that's exactly what I meant to put in. You can call them whichever one you like. Notice there's a whole bunch of different ones here. Do you have to clear them out? Nope, because as soon as you go over it and you edit back over it, so now I'm going to do the next one. What's the dimensions of the next one? 2 rows, 4 by 2. So it goes right over the one I have. And all I got to do is write my numbers over it. Don't erase them, don't delete them. Just write right over it. And just keep on going, and it'll buzz you all the way down. And don't forget to enter that last one. Sometimes kids forget to enter that last one, and don't forget to click. And then if I want to print out my matrix, again, I just click on this guy. Take it, sorry, one of each of these. There's 3. So I click on my matrix, and again, all I want to do is make sure I put the right thing in. Easy, right? So what's the dimensions of this guy? 3 by 3. We call this guy a square. Makes sense, right? So this is called the square matrix. So matrices, we're just hitting like the basic parts.
So what's the answer?
What was the answer? We just stated the rows and the columns. There was nothing to do. We just had to state the rows and the columns. I just wanted to state the row. The order is the row times column. And if you're wrong, rearrange it in your calculator. You'll see it right away. Okay. We actually did this. I'll do this both ways with you with the coefficient one as well. And I usually use augmented. Did I give you the answers to the... Good morning. If you just take Chloe on my desk, there's 3 sheets, one of each if you don't mind. So we did this real quick when we were looking at your systems. And the one thing you have to remember to do when you set this up is pull out your coefficients. So if I pulled out my coefficients, it would look like this. It would look. Now this guy has no placeholder for y. So you have to remember to put a 0 in here. 2, 0, -4, 6. This is called an augmented. An augmented one because it has the coefficients and the constants. Right here, these are your constants. These are your coefficients. And when you put this in, you're gonna put it in your calc, and we did this already, RREF, whichever matrix you use. Now, RREF comes back. Did everybody try this when we did it? Okay. So let's put this in. What's my dimensions of this? 3 by 4? Let's see. Look the same? Okay, we got it. So I start. If I put it in backwards, I'll just go back up there and redo it. Sometimes they're usually faster. My calculator is terrible up here. Don't forget to enter that last one. Okay, then do quit. Let's print it out. We'll type it out. And make sure we got it. My calculator is terrible. So let's make sure it's there. Okay. So when we do RREF, when we're finding the solution for this guy, you go to the back part. You can scroll up or down. Oops. You have to tell it matrix A, whichever one you use. There are going to be times where you put like 3 of them in, because we'll put 3 in and we'll add and subtract them, we'll multiply them. So then you have to keep track of where they are. We'll take inverses of some. And this is your reduced row echelon, because here is your diagonals of 1, right like this, x, y, z. So it's like a binary system, and here's your leading zeros. And everybody else, your leading 0 is your REF, but everybody else's 0 is your RREF. So my x is equal to 7, my y is equal to 2, and my z is equal to 2. Much easier than having to go through the whole thing, right? Okay. And again, this is REF with all these extra zeros, RREF. Simple enough, right? Okay. What else do I have another sheet, and I don't think I gave it to you guys. Did I give you this? No. You have that.
What would be great for the coefficient?
The coefficient matrix? Oh, okay, I didn't get to that yet. You're just going to put the variables, and then you're going to put your answers in another matrix. You're going to have to put just your 3. You're just going to put this in one matrix, and this in another matrix. We're just going to put those in 2 separate matrices. I don't use that one as much because it's so much easier just when you're already entering one row, just to go all the way across. But you could do this, and we actually do a little thing with that. I forgot to give you guys this one. I guess this one's not that big of a deal. A coefficient one, you're just putting in your coefficients. And coefficient ones, we're gonna hit that one again. whatever it is you have. Oh, let me see what comes up next here. Do you need to try another one, or you're good?
I think we should do it again.
You think we should try it again? Okay, put this one in. Good ideas. Put this one in. If we want to put, well, you did it both ways. I had to do RREF, right? Where were the answers for RREF? Z equals 2. So when you do REF only, you get that mess. So what happens is, you start with your Z equals 2, then you put the Z in here. So this is
So the one that we did before is
RREF. There's on the back of that sheet with the instructions, there's two different things. REF does this. It has the diagonals of 1, right? It has a leading 0. This is REF, and everything else is not a 0 as a filler. Now the other one, I got part of it out there, but the other one has zeros in place of all the other guys. It'll say this: X 0 0 1, 0 1 0 negative 1, 0 0 1 2. It has the diagonals here. It has the leading, but notice it has everybody else as a 0. This is our REF. This is REF. So REF, you have to back substitute. Our REF is reduced row echelon. You don't really need to know the difference between what it means, but you can kind of see by looking at it, right? One has all those extra zeros, one doesn't. When you have all these other numbers, you have to create equations and just back substitute. Remember we did back substitute by hand? That's the first time we started substituting, back substituting. So if you like to do that, that works out well. Not that I don't want you to get hung up on like definition parts, because we basically do very, very basic matrix work. And that's really today's lesson.
Wait, so do we have to, you said you don't usually do row echelon?
Let me see what your homework says.